All right. What is going on, everybody? Liam here, Everything NYJ. We are back. We are live, killing it solo on a Wednesday night. Lot to get into today, and it feels like after the longest off season ever, we finally made it. We have finally made it to training camp. We're going to get into the training camp preview. Denzel Mims getting released if they cannot find a trade candidate. A lot of stuff to get into today, so real quick, I'm going to post the link in the chat here. Here we go. If anybody wants to come on, feel free. Talk with you guys for a little. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. The link is in the chat. If anybody would like to come onto the show, feel free. We could talk some football, talk some Jets, training camp, Denzel Mims, Dalvin Cook, HBO's Hard Knocks, whatever you guys want. We have a lot to get into today. So like I said, so after the longest offseason, it feels like we were just talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially getting traded. We were all just watching the Pat McAfee show, and then it finally happened. Like, we are finally here. There was just so much dead time in the NFL. Like, nothing was really going on. We were all just kind of speculating and rumors and trying to make up these different scenarios just to create some content because we love talking about the New York Jets, but there was nothing to talk about for the longest time. So finally, all the players uh, came in today. They all reported to camp. Just this morning, Tippmann and Will McDonald signed their rookie contracts. So there will be no distractions. There will be no holdouts. Hard Knocks is really just going to have to miss out on that situation, on that big storyline, because Quinn Williams is signed. The entire draft class is signed. There is no distractions going into this season. You absolutely got to love it. There is not going to be a Roscoe Diner Part 2 situation. So you wake up this morning and the New York Jets post a picture of Aaron Rodgers in a New York Jets uniform, the green and white. And it says, "This is not an AI generated picture." And oh my God, now it feels real. It's probably not going to feel 100% real until week one, until Aaron Rodgers takes that first snap against Buffalo on Monday night, which I am going to that game. If you guys are going to be at that game, please let me know in the comments. I'll love to meet up with you guys, get some beer, and watch some great New York Jets winning football because that's what it's going to be. So the Jets post that picture of Aaron Rodgers, and I want to get in on this jersey thing a little bit because if you guys aren't aware, it was all over Twitter today. It got leaked that the New York Jets are going to be bringing back their 1980s jerseys, their throwback jerseys. Everybody else has their throwback jerseys. The Giants, the Vikings just did it last week, not even this week. The Buccaneers have done it. A bunch of teams have done this. And all of us Jets fans have been begging on our knees, Woody Johnson, please just bring back that old Jets logo. We all want to see it. That's all we want. And you really want to make this the perfect offseason? That's what you do. Woody Johnson is going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars by doing that. And if you are a longtime Jet fan, you know Woody Johnson, you know that he loves his money. Can't fault him. And it just seems like forever we've been begging Woody Johnson to do this, and now he's finally doing it. So a picture, or more of a video, got leaked. All the players were taking their pictures today, and there was one guy. I'm not even sure who he is, to be completely honest with you. He actually deleted his Twitter account. Jake Asman had his name. I forget his name. But so they zoom in on this guy, and there's a curtain, and you can clearly see CJ Uzama rocking that 1980s jersey. They're bringing it back. And it's kind of funny that they only posted Aaron Rodgers today. They didn't post Sauce. They didn't post Quentin Williams, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, AVT in their jerseys. So I'm willing to bet that either tomorrow or sometime this week or maybe even next week, they're going to drop the huge, huge news that the New York Jets are bringing back their throwback jerseys. It's not going to be a permanent thing. It's probably going to be a couple games here and there. But I would be completely cool. Was it Zach Gaines? What's up, RK Ripper? PK Ripper. I'm sorry. It might have been. It might have been Zach Gaines. I'm not sure. I think that's who it was. That does sound familiar. But but yeah, they're going to be announcing that they're finally bringing back their throwback jerseys, and it's going to make for the perfect offseason. Just that little cherry on top. You want to go get Dalvin Cook. You want to re-sign Quan. I do, and that's going to be the perfect offseason right there. I would be completely cool. I know they're not going to do it, but I would be cool with replacing those jerseys with the black ones and making that just like our alternate. There's gonna be a lot of different jerseys going around. You have the green, the white, the black, and now these throwbacks. And man, oh man, you gotta have the throwback helmets. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. So we wake up to all that good news. So I'm chilling, bro. Yeah, man, me too. Me too. A lot of big Jets news to get into, a lot to talk about today. So thank you for joining. All right, there we go. So yeah, so then we have just want to see the old logo. Yeah, just like all of us, we all want to see that. That's all we want back. We just want to get some shirts, some t-shirts, some hats with that old logo on it, man. The logo right here, I didn't really like that when it first came out a couple years ago. It's grown on me. Like I've come to accept it, and that's going to be our main logo. I get that, but I would really want to see that 1980s logo and that 90s logo back. I really do. But then we got the awesome video of Michael Clemens, my favorite Jet, one of my favorite Jets, top 5. Love Michael Clemens. We got that awesome video of him outdoing himself from last year, walking into training camp, shirtless, with a baseball bat in his hand. I'm pretty sure Michael Clemens just committed murder on the way to the Jets facility. Was he just randomly hitting baseballs? I don't know. I think he killed somebody. He's a freak, and I love it. I'm here for it. Last year, he walked into training camp shirtless. This year, he goes, you know what? I'm going to go full Walking Dead, and I'm going to bring a baseball bat covered in barbed wire. The guy is an absolute animal. He's a maniac. And I'm here for it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope that the other AFC East quarterbacks have nightmares about this guy. Tua, Mac Jones, Josh Allen. I hope that they are having restless nights because of Michael Clemens. And he's coming for them. He is coming for them. I absolutely love it. I gotta stay hydrated. It's hot here on Long Island. So yeah, just gonna talk for a little bit. Not sure how long this is gonna go on. These are just pretty spontaneous. I'm probably not even gonna be doing these every single Wednesday. Next week we got Gunny Gumby coming onto the show. So training camp preview, here we go. We're gonna kind of go position by position here. I want to start with the wide receivers. Big news also coming out today. Denzel Mims is going to be released if he cannot be traded. And right now, I don't think Denzel Mims has any trade value. None whatsoever. He's at his lowest point. He had a couple he didn't even start a game, but I mean he was in the game a little bit last year, but not nearly as enough. And it looks like last year they were going to trade him. They were playing him all throughout preseason. He was actually shining during preseason. But it just seems like any time, because here's the thing with Denzel Mims. He can catch the contested 50-50 balls. He can do all that. Big, tall, fast. For every nice catch that he has 2 drops and he has 2 penalties, an offsides, a holding, offensive pass interference, whatever. He just hasn't been consistent enough. He has a bad injury history. It's just, yeah. Matthias says goodbye Mims. Yep, absolutely. Good riddance. The food poisoning, all the injuries. He didn't show up to OTAs. And yes, I get it. It's OTAs. You don't have to be there. But Denzel Mims knows that he was fighting for a roster spot. He doesn't show up. That shows he doesn't care. Unless there was a situation that, like, he couldn't be there. There's, like, a family emergency that we don't know about. Whatever the situation is, he should have been there. Unless there was something extremely serious going on. If he just chose not to show up, then that just kind of shows the character that he is. Mims just a bad fit for just got to cut bait already. Yeah, that's what it is. It seems like last year he was definitely on the trading block. He actually requested a trade last year, and the Jets refused to do it. But Robert Saleh just doesn't like him. It's as simple as that. There's something about Denzel Mims that Robert Saleh doesn't like. So then you figured maybe it was a Michael LaFleur thing. So they get rid of Michael LaFleur. So now you're learning your third system because you had Adam Gase, then you had Michael LaFleur, now you have Nate Hackett. If you're not learning, at some point you got to realize it's not the system, it's the player. And that's what's happening with Denzel Mims. Looks like our wide receiver corp is much better now. We don't need him. Yeah, absolutely. I think the New York Jets are going to be carrying six. I think not in any specific order, but I think it's going to be Garrett Wilson, Mecole Hardman, Alan Lazard, Corey Davis, Randall Cobb, and then you could really take whether it be Jerome Cap or somebody like that. I personally, or maybe even Jason Brownlee. I think it could be him. I have a feeling that it's going to be Jason Brownlee or Cap, one of those two, because Aaron Rodgers actually said that he really likes Jason Brownlee. So I think that really gives him a good chance at making the team. Jerome Cap, same thing. Let's see what we got going on here. It could be Gibson too, because Gibson actually has experience in the system. If you remember, he was with the Jets for a little bit last year. Excuse me. Need my water. I try to drink a gallon a day. It's crazy. Now the tight ends are going to be a bigger part. Yeah, this is what I'm really excited to see. And I really think that Jeremy Rucker can have a breakout season. Lake Jet fan said, so the Jets not releasing Mims yet means they will dump him to someone for a pick, hopefully. Yeah, but what is his trade value? Denzel Mims has no trade value. Yeah, the COVID draft. 20 and 21, yeah. Besides Mekhi Becton, who's possibly even on the trading block, that 20 draft class is just a complete bust. James Morgan, Braden Mann. It's great. That was such a bad draft class. I'm so glad that we were able to rebound from that. I mean, we're going to see what this 2023 draft class is all about. I'm excited for a lot of these guys. Will McDonald, I don't think he's going to have a lot of playing time this year, though, to be completely honest. Titman, I think he's going to win the starting job. So yeah, I'm going to kind of go through like the whole roster here and just kind of give my thoughts position by position, who are really good fits for the team. Do you guys in the chat think that Brownlee or Jerome Cap or somebody like that is going to be making the team? Maybe a future fourth, seventh round pick. I don't know. I heard that they were asking for like a conditional seventh round pick. I have a feeling he's going to end up getting caught. I really don't think that he's going to be. I don't think he has any trade value, to be completely honest with you guys. I don't think any team's going to trade for him. I heard Dallas was interested, but I don't know. Why give up draft compensation for a guy if you know he's going to be cut? That's the way I look at it. So the link is in the chat if anybody wants to come on. I would like to see Brownlee. Yeah, I would too. Aaron Rodgers seems to like him. He actually kind of praised him in one of his interviews not too long ago. So I think if anybody has a chance at making the team, it would be him. We all thought Cashman didn't have any value. See, if anybody could get value for Denzel Mims, it's going to be Joe Douglas. A seventh round pick for Cashman, a 2 and a 4 for Sam Darnold, a seventh round pick for Stonehands Chris Herndon. If anybody could get compensation for Denzel Mims, it is Joe Douglas. So that is the only thing that kind of gives me a little bit of hope. But I don't know. I don't see it. I hope we do get draft compensation for him. I really do. But do I personally think it's going to happen? I don't. So then I saw, where is it? Go through this here. Matthias said that the tight ends are going to have a bigger part. So let's talk about the tight ends a little bit. Oh, wait, hold on. So before we move on, we have Lake Jet fan. Jets got a fourth for Herndon. That's right. You give up draft comp if you are low on waivers and like him. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be 100% surprised if that makes any sense. Not to give like a waffle take here. but I don't know. I don't even know where he'd be a good fit. He seems like he completely lost his confidence, forgot how to catch, and maybe a fresh start is best for him. I think that's exactly what it is. Some team will definitely take a chance on him, though. Hopefully, we get something for him. I really hope we do. So, talking about the tight ends a little bit, I think Jeremy Rucker is going to have a breakout season this year. I really do. He was injured last year. He missed pretty much all of training camp, so he was just really behind learning the scheme, the playbook. He didn't get a lot of. He didn't see the field a lot last year. And after the season, the Jets could be moving on from Tyler Conklin and C.J. Uzuma, which really opens up the door for Jeremy Ruckert. I like this. I really like him. Him and Zach Kuntz or Kuntz, however you pronounce it. It's Kuntz. We know what it is. I'm excited to see what they do in training camp here, and I think that right now Jeremy Ruckert is going to be a tight end 3 at this point. I still think that the Jets are going to continue to roll with Conklin and Uzama. It seems like they do value Conklin a little bit more. He does get some more plays. He's more of a catching tight end, and CJ Uzama is more of a blocking tight end. But CJ Uzama is just like a really good locker room guy. The New York Jets definitely do like him a lot. Vinny says, "Sup, Liam? Keep up the good work. Glad to see Mims go. Happy about the throwbacks that I grew up with." Yeah, what's up, Vinny? What's going on, man? Yeah, I'm excited about those jerseys too. I think everybody is just really excited about those jerseys. I just posted the link, Vinny. If you want to hop on, talk some Jets for a little bit, feel free to come on. Bringing callers on tonight, so anybody could hop on for a couple minutes if you guys are interested. If not, no big deal. Not sure how long I'm going to be going here. I'm just kind of going to go position by position and see where it leads us, see whatever time it is that it ends. But I'm really excited to see Kuntz develop. I think that he's going to have not as big as a role this year, maybe next year. I really think next year it's going to be Rucker and Kuntz. That's just my personal opinion. Moving on to the offensive line. Now this is going to be really exciting because the offensive line shows a lot of promise. But before we get into the offensive line, PK Ripper says A-Rod will definitely feed Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzuma. This is going to be an amazing season. Yeah, absolutely. A tight end is a quarterback's best friend. He's the security blanket, drag route to the tight end, all those slants. I do it all the time in Madden. Not that that means anything. Madden is a complete joke. We saw with those ratings and everything. But yeah, no, like in all seriousness, though, Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to get the most out of Conklin and Uzama, and I really hope that he starts to build a good connection with Jeremy Rucker, get him some really good experience in there. But moving on to the offensive line, like I said, I think this offensive line shows a lot of promise, but it is definitely a question mark. Laken Tomlinson, he didn't live up to his contract last year. He's going to have a big bounce back season, hopefully. We got to get him back to that Pro Bowl 49ers form that he once was. He was just a complete letdown with the New York Jets last year. Cuca Lake Jet fan says this team has a Hall of Fame quarterback and an experienced offensive coordinator. When was the last time the Jets had an experienced offensive coordinator? Even Shoddy was a first timer with a crap quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I liked Schottenheimer. I really did. But he had his flaws. But it's been so bad. I mean, Jeremy Bates, Dowell Loggins, LaFleur. We've been through the ringer. To have finally competency on the offense and the defense, really. Just to have a competent quarterback play, a Hall of Fame quarterback. That's going to pay huge dividends for the season, for this entire team. I have a real good feeling, and I seriously mean this, that we have a shot at going to the Super Bowl. AFC Championship game is the minimum. You got to make noise in the playoffs. You can't be a winning in and then, just lose first round. That's not good enough. Especially for this caliber of team. I think this team actually has more talent than the 2010 team. I'm saying it right here. But with this offensive line, you have Laken Tomlinson. He was kind of banged up a little bit. Dwayne Brown was banged up. Torn rotator cuff. He's coming back 38 years old. selfless warrior award recipient, Dwayne Brown. You got to believe Dwayne Brown wouldn't have been coming back if there was something that he didn't believe in. He knows that this team is going to be special and he wants to be a part of it. He's at the tail end of his career. He didn't have to play a single snap. All of his money was guaranteed last year. He could have gotten paid, not play a single snap, and he finished the season with a torn rotator cuff and then comes back. And Mekhi Becton wants to be a left tackle? Not happening. Not a chance in hell. Robert Saleh could say all he wants, that he thinks that, it's an open competition and that if Mekhi Becton really wants to be a left tackle, he's going to have to go earn it. Yeah, he is. But he's not going to beat Dwayne Brown. Unless Dwayne Brown gets injured, God forbid, knock on wood. But then here's what you do. Do you put Mekhi Becton at left tackle? I think you would personally. And then you have Billy Turner, you have Max Mitchell at right tackle. But right now, in my mind, I think it's Laken Tomlinson, Dwayne Brown, Tippmann, AVT, and then Becton. That would be my starting five if I had to pick, to be completely honest. I'm kind of torn between the whole Tippmann and Connor McGovern thing. Just not really sure if Aaron Rodgers is going to want a rookie center under, the snap of the ball. I don't know if he's going to want that, if he's going to want an experienced guy. Connor McGovern, obviously far from the best center in all of the NFL, but he's not the worst either. Like, you don't really hear his name. Like, he's not really bad at his job, but he's not great. He's just kind of a guy, which makes me think that if they are really competing for that starting job, they might want to go with Tippmann. The guy's a freak athlete. Yes, he's pretty tall for a center, but you could be looking at the anchor of your offensive line for the next 5+ years. You might want to get him some experience playing with a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. But if this offensive line can stay healthy, I think they only played a total of like 3 or 4 games with the original starting offensive line. Mekhi Becton is a huge question mark. Yes, he's in the best shape of his life, but he hasn't played in 2 years. I think, in my opinion, it's right tackle or nothing. And if he's going to be going on to Hard Knocks and making a bad, just a scene, and he's running his mouth and he's throwing a temper tantrum, he might be cut. He might be traded. I wouldn't be surprised if he does not win the right tackle job if he requests a trade. I could see it right now. The Jets don't owe him anything. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. He's going to have to go earn it. And then possibly, even after earning it, he might not be brought back. That's just the harsh reality of it. Quadzilla says, as a Packers fan, I'll trade back for 2 first rounds, LOL, because you guys are the New York Packers. That's right. We are the New York Packers. Thank you for joining the show, man. We love having you here. Thanks for checking out a Jets podcast. We're not bad guys. And I promise you, we are going to take care of Aaron Rodgers. He's in good hands with us. I'm really excited to see how Jordan Love does. I really am. I have no hate towards Jordan Love. I hope he's a guy. You guys have been spoiled with quarterbacks, from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to now hopefully Jordan Love. Hopefully he takes a big step, because you guys got to figure out what he is. It's either that or you guys are probably going to have to draft a quarterback or do what we did and find a veteran quarterback, something like that. But thank you, Quadzilla, for checking out the podcast. We love having you here. Please like and sub if you haven't done so already. So that's going to cover the offensive line. We covered the tight ends. We covered I want to get into the running backs now. Dalvin Cook. Here we go. I want to get into Dalvin Cook. I think it was the Buffalo Jet fan said that on his channel that Dalvin Cook is looking for about $8 million a year. I don't see that happening one bit. He's not getting that. I'm thinking 5, 6 mil maybe. Oh, you already have. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Definitely appreciate that. Freaking Packers backup between Hasselbeck, Brunell, Brooks, and even Matt Flynn, LOL. Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. We're going to get into the quarterbacks and Zach Wilson in a minute here. I want to go over the running back situation real quick while we talk about it. Cuca League Jet fan. Kind of lost. Oh, here we go. Here's the thing with Dalvin Cook. He turned down the Dolphins offer. We don't know what that number was. And with the whole situation going on with all these running backs, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, just to name a few, Saquon Barkley is considering sitting out this year. He said he doesn't know if he wants to do that, but he is considering it. It's just a bad time to be a running back and wanting to get paid. The whole reason that the Vikings moved on from him is because he was going to make $11 million this year, and you just can't pay a running back. I feel so bad for running backs because they take so much abuse, and I consider it a skills position. You're touching the ball, you're making plays. Yeah, you're right. RIP running back market. Absolutely right. It's a shame too. There have been a lot of great running backs over the years. Think back with the Jets, Curtis Martin. Then there's Adrian Peterson out there, Barry Sanders. There's been a lot of great running backs in NFL history. And for some reason, their market is just completely destroyed at this point. Here we go. I just posted the link again if anybody wants to come on. The link has been posted multiple times if you guys would love to do so. Here's the thing. Do you want to go after a Dalvin Cook, though? Because you got to imagine if the Miami Dolphins offered him $7 million and he said no because he wants 8, then Joe Douglas is going to back away from that. There is mutual interest. And then Boy Green actually interviewed Dalvin Cook's agent and said that Dalvin Cook really wants to, like, it is about the money. Yes, it is. But it's also about going to a team where he feels like he could be that final piece to put a team over the top to finally win a Super Bowl. And he does consider the Jets to be one of those teams. And if Breece Hall isn't ready for week one, here's the thing. Breece Hall is on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform, physically unable to practice, whatever you want to call it. He's on there. The good news is he could come off at any time. Not surprised that he's on there. ACLs are tricky. We saw Saquon Barkley. It took him 2 years to get back to his initial shape. Carl Lawson coming off of his Achilles. Not quite the same injury. But it took him last year. He was not the same player that he's going to be this year. Just looks a lot more explosive. But here's the thing with the running backs. It's going to take a while. How many carries do you really want Breece Hall taking week one? 5, 10? If he doesn't play week one, I'm cool with it. Michael Carter, I think he's a trade candidate. I would not be surprised if Michael Carter is not on the New York Jets come week one. It's just my personal opinion. I could see him staying, but if a running back is going to be cut, it's going to be him. Bam Knight showed flashes but kind of fizzled off at the end last year. Not really sure if he is a true number one wide receiver. Is he? He's a pup. He's 20 years old. To expect him to understand how defenses work in the NFL and what holes to hit, that's asking for a lot for a young rookie. He's a kid. Yeah, Bach and Jennings. Yeah, they know all about it. You're right. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing. I don't want to rush Brees Hall back, especially if we don't have to. Leonard Fournette's an option. Kareem Hunt. I like Kareem Hunt too because he was always kind of been paired with Chubb over in Cleveland. So he has a lot of tread left on his tires. I think that he could be a good option. And he's cool with not being a number one running back. He knows that when Brees Hall comes back, it's Brees Hall's job. The thing with paying Dalvin Cook $6-7 million, you're gonna have to ask him to do a lot. He's gonna have to earn that. And just with the depth that they have, are they? See, here's the thing with Bam Knight. I like him as a player, I really do. But he was stashed onto the practice squad, and nobody picked him up. So that kind of gives me like a little bit of concern. And then like yes, he had a couple good weeks, but he really did fizzle off towards the end. Michael Carter looked hurt last year, but even year one, like he wasn't all that great. Like, he was pretty good, but I wouldn't say he was great. He's easily replaceable, and that seems like what the new market is for these running backs. You could just draft one. Izzy was a day 3 draft pick. Day 3. To expect him to be anything fantastic, It's just not realistic. Quadzilla says, certainly I've been waiting 2 years for David Bach to fully come back. Yeah, Bakhtiari is kind of an interesting one. It's weird because like he's such a good player too, but it's just those injuries just take so long to get back to your full self. Jets turbulence, Dan or Joe Cat, whichever one you are. Thank you. I'll be checking your show out tomorrow. We got to collab soon again, man. Yeah, I gotta bring you guys back on. I was actually gonna message you guys soon. Definitely will. Want to get you guys back on the show. But yeah, definitely go check out Jets Turbulence if you haven't done so on YouTube. Go sub to them. They are a great group of guys. Very entertaining podcast. You are not going to be bored listening to them. They have some wild takes too. Just awesome stuff there. But yeah, so the running back position in my eyes is just kind of it's unknown right now. It's unknown what kind of year Brees Hall is going to have. Is he going to have a fantastic season? Because here, like when you tear your ACL, there is a little bit of hesitancy to plant on that leg. I mean, you can't blame it. It's a serious injury. It's painful as hell from what I'm told. I've never done it. Don't want to. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I never tear my ACL. Sounds really painful, but if you want to bring in Dalvin Cook, it's not going to be for 6 million. It's not going to be for 8 million. I'm thinking six, the the highest number, 6 million. That's all you're getting. So there's that. Getting into the quarterback position here. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Not much to say about that. I really think and I really hope that the Jets bring in a veteran backup quarterback. I cannot say this enough. I cannot stress this enough. Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz. There's guys out there. There's dudes. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's going to want like a minimum $1 million a year contract, to be completely honest, because he still could start in the NFL. He's not a great starter. But if you need him to possibly win you a game, to step in, to not blow a lead, if Aaron Rodgers, knock on wood, goes down in the third, fourth quarter, just to be a game manager, I think he's fine. I don't see it happening, though. I really don't. I think that this is definitely Zach Wilson's team. Zach Wilson is going to be quarterback two, whether we like it or not. At this point, the NFL doesn't feel like the NFL with rule changes and refs calling horrid flags and soft. It's got yes, it has gotten very soft. It really has. As long as A-Rod plays 65% of the snaps this year, I'm happy. Yeah, he better. He better be playing 65. I was really surprised by that. But yeah, you guys are definitely going to be getting a first round draft pick, but I'm cool with it. If giving up a first round draft pick makes you a Super Bowl contender, you got to do it. And it's probably going to be a high first round draft pick too. Hopefully it's pick 32. But I'm going to say from 25 up is my opinion, to be completely honest with you guys, unless something goes horribly wrong. Quadzilla says, hey, we want Carson. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Carson Wentz either. But yeah, you guys are definitely going to need a veteran backup quarterback too, just because Jordan Love, he's been in your system for a couple of years, but he doesn't really have that playing experience. At least starting in like a big, meaningful game. So I think that you guys are another team that does want a veteran backup quarterback. I think that we're going to see a lot of Zach Wilson this year too, to be completely honest with you guys. And depending on how he plays in the Hall of Fame game in 2 weeks, and depending on how he plays in preseason, I think that's going to determine whether the Jets actually bring in a veteran backup quarterback. You don't want Chris Streveler seeing the field like he did against Jacksonville. I was at that game, and I was ready to claw my eyes out. It was bad. Completing a 30-yard pass was such a challenge for him. Tim Boyle, he doesn't cut it for me. Quadzilla, you know all about Tim Boyle. What is Tim Boyle like? Did you like having him on your squad? If you could answer that question, that'd be great. Or are you just like not even familiar with him? Because you have Aaron Rodgers playing, who really doesn't miss games. But that's going to do it for the offensive part of this. I'm going to go into Jets turbulence. Which one of these Google results pop up when you search for a monoconda? M&A condom, some odd condom, anaconda, M&M is in Canada. All the above, really. Sometimes I type it in and it says like no results even found. It doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about. It's funny stuff though. But yeah, so switching over to defense, the defensive line. I'm gonna start off with the defensive line here. Finally, we have the anchor of our defensive line, Quinn Williams, signed. So there's not going to be a bad Roscoe Diner Part 2 coming onto Hard Knocks. No distractions. And we're going to get to work. I don't think Will McDonald is going to be seeing a lot of the field, starting with the edge rushers. I want to see a lot more Huff. I really like Bryce Huff. I really do. Here we go. Yeah. 1 second here. But yeah, I really do like Bryce Huff. I really expect him to start. Michael Clemens is going to be moving to the inside. JFM might be going to the inside as well. I just shared the link probably one last time. Maybe we'll do it one more time. If anybody wants to hop on, the link is in the chat. Quadzilla, getting back to my comment about Tim Boyle. I mean, not really. He's fine, but definitely don't want him out there starting with a young wide receiver core that's fairly new to the Jets, like Cobb or Lazard. Yeah, I mean, he's not even making. He's like making like 700 grand this year. Like it's nothing. It's peanuts for an NFL quarterback. I don't want to see him. I'd be cool with getting rid of him. I know. I understand why they brought him in because he has experience in Hackett's system. So you might want to do that there. At least he might be able to help Zach out a little bit. But moving on to the defensive line, like I had said, I think JFM is going to be moving to the inside. Michael Clemens is going to be going to the inside. I could see Michael Clemens kind of doing like some of both, though. I think he's going to be on the inside, and maybe he might even help out on the outside. But you have Jermaine Johnson there. You have just so much depth there. I think Jermaine Johnson is going to take a big leap in year 2. Really excited to see what he can do. And I'm cool with not even really seeing Will McDonald, to be complete. I play him in preseason. Maybe you give him like a couple reps here and there during a game. You bring him in when the Jets are just up by a couple scores. Not discounting him. I'm not saying he's a scrub, but he's a rookie. Let him learn. Just let him sit there and learn. We have Jermaine Johnson. He's going to take a big year. We have Bryce Huff. He's going to have a big year. I think the defensive line is definitely going to be Quinn Williams, Jefferson, Al Woods, JFM. I think we're going to see a lot more of Michael Clemens than we did last year. And if this defensive line could all stay together like they kind of did last year, I think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned. I really do. I think the defensive line could be one of the best in the league. But you got to get after the quarterback. I want to see a lot more sacks. I think. See, here's the thing: you paid Quinn Williams. I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff like former players have. Mo Wilkerson. There we go. Uh, I just read that comment there. It's kind of hard talking the entire time and reading comments. When I have Italy Jet on Monday nights, I'm able to kind of let him talk and I kind of control the comments. Doing a lot here. So give me some credit, guys. But yeah, I'm not really too concerned with the defensive line. Says LOL. Yeah, but the defensive line, Jigga, Jigga, Jigga Man Porto or Jigga Porto Man, however you guys want to say it. He goes by both. How you doing, man? I'm doing good. Really excited. Training camp is finally here. It feels like it has taken forever to get to this point. This has been the longest off season in the history of off seasons. Finally glad to have some actual football to talk about. You and Italy Jet have been killing it on your show, man. Definitely go check out the Morning Brew crew. Great group of guys over there. Subscribe to them on YouTube if you haven't done so. Jigga, great content creator on YouTube as well. Gotta plug you too, man. Getting into the linebackers, this is where I get concerned. And this is where losing Chuck Clark sucks. Facts. That's right, bro. Facts it is. Thank you. No, man, you do a great job, bro. Definitely deserve it. But yeah, losing Chuck Clark. Oh, maybe you're out? Farewell. Quadzilla, if you're leaving, well, thanks for stopping by. I think you meant to say farewell. I'm not sure. If you didn't, my bad. And you want to stick around, thanks, great. But I am concerned, and I really think that you got to find a way to bring Quan Alexander back. I really do. It's not going to cost you much, and if you want to double his pay from last year, that's like 3 million right there. You want to give him 3 million? I'm cool with it. He's a veteran. He knows the system. He's played with Robert Saleh, and he didn't start in every game. He wasn't on the field for every play. But I don't want to go into the season with Sherwood and Nasruddin as possibly your starting linebacker, alongside Quincy Williams, who I think is also not great, and C.J. Mosley, who is a year older, getting a step older. It is a big concern of mine. And if you're an opposing quarterback, that's what you gotta do. You gotta hit the secondary, because even the safeties. I said all last year that the safeties were a liability, and I stand by that. I really do. Jordan Whitehead, I have no confidence that he's all of a sudden going to bounce back and have this great, amazing season. You have Adrian Amos, number 0 is what he will be rocking this year, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. But I think you definitely got to bring back Quan, or you got to find a linebacker, a serviceable starting caliber linebacker. I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers checked out Quan. They had a cup of coffee with him. But I think he's going to be a Jet if another team doesn't offer him a contract. And I think the only way that he goes to another team is if the team overpays for him. The New York Jets, I believe, gave him a contract offer and said, "This is what we're willing to offer you. If you could go to another team and make more money, go ahead and do so. If not, come back and come be a Jet for another year." I'm cool. Like I said, I'm cool. You want to give him $3 million? I'm cool with that. I think he's definitely worth the knowledge of the scheme. He's just a veteran on the field. He could really help out these younger players, and then you could start to see some more of Sherwood and Nazareth. You could kind of coach them up a little bit. But going into a season where you're quote unquote going all in, I don't want to go all in and have question marks. Safeties, same thing. I would like another safety. Not even sure who's still available. I know that they love Tony Adams. You have Converse. You have a couple guys there. But you really want to see them starting? I don't. Getting into the cornerbacks real quick. Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, the best. I love this combo. I really do. And I really think that they are the best 2 corners in the NFL. That's my bold take. And I don't even think it's a bold take. But if you're Sauce, you're going into year 2, those expectations are already high. He was on Ryan Clark's podcast, the Pivot podcast. And you could tell this guy is a leader. He's so mature for his age, going into his second year. He gets it. He gets what it's like to be an NFL cornerback. But the one thing I will say about Sauce, it's not a knock on him. But you gotta get more interceptions this year. I think you absolutely have to. But now that we're talking about training camp, all throughout training camp last year, Sauce Gardner, 15, 20 minutes early, was the first guy on the field stretching and getting his mind right. And you just love to see it from such a young player. You could definitely tell that he's going to be a captain. 100%. He's going to be a locker room leader. He was kind of quiet when he first came in, but he talks a lot of trash on that practice field, and Hard Knocks is going to be capturing it all. I am so excited every day to see Garrett Wilson versus Sauce Gardner. Iron sharpening iron. I think it's going to be fantastic to see. So that's going to cover it. I think we went over just about everything. Really excited that training camp is here. All the players will start practicing tomorrow. Today, they kind of just came in, all got in the building. We got some leaked 1980s jerseys, throwbacks that are going to be coming anytime now, so definitely stick around for that. I'll be covering that. So I just want to thank you guys all for watching. We're going on almost 45 minutes here. Thank you guys for watching. Finally, the Jets are here. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk Jets soon.